Coinbase definitely paid, but like I said, I don't plan on holding you guys up for too long tonight. We're gonna look at a few stocks. Okay, we're gonna look at a few things, and we're gonna get out of here. Okay, we're gonna look at a few things. Okay, but I do want to look at the cues really quick. I do want to look at the cues. I definitely want to look at the cues because the level that we're in right now, the level that we're in right now is where it has been rejecting. And this is, if you guys remember back when we were talking in February 10th, February 11th, like this is the level that it needed to hold above for us to start pushing back to, 630 plus. Now what we got today is a very strong move that closed above this level. Now, of course, we got to see how this week closes, etc., and that'll ultimately determine a whole lot. But when you look at the strength of the market in general and how many people got trapped, okay, there's two things that you got to know. Either sure we make a little leg down, sure we make a little leg down, and whatever it may be, but the second thing that is definitely going to happen, okay, is definitely going to happen. It is imminent, and it is that we're going to end up making new all-time highs, and I think the Qs can start inching to 660, 670. Look, man, maybe even 700, okay? But that's the main thing I'm paying attention to. I'm also looking at, the weekly hidden divergence that we're seeing right here play out. Okay, we are now in a bull trend. It is now in a bull trend. The last time something like this played out was back here, and we got this massive move to the upside, like you see right here, from right here, right? This leg lower, and then this one, it made a higher low, but this was making a lower low, and then you ended up getting this big move to the upside, which was like a 60, which is like a $50 move. Okay, so the same thing is happening right here, but it's actually even a lower RSI. And it was a $50 move. I anticipate us to break all time highs and potentially get to 640 plus here very soon. Okay, now there's amazing setups inside of the market. I think that's the most important thing. I like looking at the cues, for a little bit, but there is a trend shift that is happening, and I think if you're paying attention to small caps, if you're paying attention to stocks like, maybe even RGTI can do something crazy here soon, or OKLO, or stocks that are very volatile, and stocks that were going crazy, back when. I think those stocks have a lot of potential going forward. But we can look at Microsoft really quick. Put in the comments what stocks you guys want to look at. We'll look at them. Okay, we will look at them. Now, for Microsoft, the main thing that I'm paying attention to for Microsoft, and we already have said this time and time and time and time and time and time again, this is going to continue to move to the upside. And what we're having right here is actually a bottoming out consolidation period on for the last 3 weeks. Okay, so if you've been looking right here for the past 3 weeks, and you've been getting stopped out, etc., move your time frame up to the weekly chart. Okay, if you're getting stopped out, you're looking at the daily chart and you're getting scared, etc., zoom out to the weekly, and then also pay attention to what happened with Meta. Okay, some of you guys remember we were very early on Meta because of what I'm going to tell you what we saw. Okay, well, I'm going to tell you what we saw. All right, it's the same exact situation, same sort of mag 7 mega cap type of stock. The same thing is playing out with Microsoft, but for Meta now. Okay, and the same exact thing is what we're seeing here is this monthly hidden bull divergence. Okay, you see what's playing out right here. So Meta is going to continue to march to the upside, first of all, but the same thing is said for Microsoft, where you have this hidden monthly divergence that is playing out right here. Okay, you have a higher low being formed, and then you have it even again right here, and that's how we knew on this dip, where a lot of people got scared back when it went to 600. We were saying that this has a very large move to go to the upside. Okay, 800 plus, and that move has been playing out. We saw it top out at 740 or 745, and now it's retesting some levels and getting ready to go to that next leg to the upside. Okay, so the same thing, the same exact thing is playing out for Microsoft. Okay, where you're getting, what are you getting? What are you getting? Okay, tell me, what are you getting? Tell me in the comments what you're getting. What are you getting? What are you getting? You're getting hidden monthly divergence. Okay, if you don't know what this is, it is a very critical thing to learn if you're looking to see, macro type of setups. Okay, and the same thing can be done for, the put side as well. Okay, the same thing can be done for the put side as well, because as you see what happened right here, right, when it made the top right here, it was actually putting in lower high, which is hidden, which is bear divergence. Okay, but now we are forming hidden bull divergence from the bottoms that you see right here because it's making a higher low, but this is making a lower low. Do you understand? So we saw this play out for Meta. So I'd be a fool to come on here and say the same thing isn't going to play out for Microsoft. We had a huge bounce on Meta when the same setup played out. You know, what is it, back in December? No, back in November through January. So it took 3 months for this to make a move from 583 back to 741, almost a $200 move. I think Microsoft has the same sort of thing about to play out, where it's making this hidden monthly bull divergence, and I think it could easily, you know, start pumping, you know, $70, $80 plus. Okay, we can come in here and draw some price targets if you like, but really, like really, you know, you could catch day trade, and we were looking at it very closely in the Discord. We, like, yesterday we were like, this is so bullish, and we said it was so bullish, and you know, and it ended up going crazy. You could have got in at, you know, 384 when we were talking about it, etc. Made an insane move today, and I think it continues to go up. It hasn't reached some levels. I think it could, you know, a target that you could potentially have is 408, and you know, even 419 will be next. You know, so those are a few targets I'll be paying attention to, but you have to understand that the market is incredibly bullish. Rather we retest some of these levels or not, the main thing to pay attention to, the main thing to know is that if you get these discounts, if you get these dips, you want to make sure that you're buying these dips, okay? And that's what we've been saying time and time again, not just today, okay? So put in the comments what other stocks you guys want to look at. We got into PLTR, RGTI, we got into Tesla, what was it, yesterday? You know, did you expect AXTI to jump this quickly to 40? Yes, I did. Okay, AXTI, some of you guys don't know what he's talking about, but we got an AXTI equity. What is this? February 5th? Some of you guys don't know what he's talking about. We added XTX equity. Yes. First of all, if you don't have an equity portfolio, like if you aren't actively like adding to an investment account and you're just strictly day trading, you're doing it all wrong, first of all. But we added AXTI equity. And yes, I anticipated that to start moving up very quickly because it was only a $1 billion market cap stock. And this is, you know, sort of like a bottleneck. You know, they do substrates, you know, they do a whole bunch of things. But we got in February 5th, okay? And in order to make a lot of these like chips, etc., like this AI revolution, this AI bubble that we're in, AXTI makes some of the you know, the things that people don't think about inside of these chips, the minerals, etc. And you know, we got in February 5th. And you know, this ended up going 40 plus. I think this can start inching to 100 plus. Okay, so phototronics, I believe is what this is called, and that's the reason we also got into PLAB, and you know, we got into PLAB at around $37, and you know, the same deal. Why? Because I believe phototronics are going to continue to start going crazy. So if you look at February 17th, we got into a long-term hold on this. February 17th, we got into some June 18th, 55s, and this is up almost 15% today, and it's set out to even go much higher because it's only a $2.5 billion stock. This can easily start inching to $100 plus. Okay, this is still an undervalued sector that not a lot of people even know about. Okay, so you're very early now. You know, with the equity that we got into, that 100%, you know, should you continue to hold, you know, maybe you should take some profits, right? It'd be smart to take a little bit of profits, but also if you're investing for, you know, 5 to 10 years, you know, maybe don't take anything. Maybe just take out a little bit, because what you can borrow. Like, a lot of people don't understand, when you're building your investment account, you know, you keep building, you keep adding to it, you keep getting into good things that we suggest inside of WOM, inside of our Discord, because a lot of the things that we suggest in here are absolutely incredible. Okay, they're just absolutely good. We got into UPS, you know, back when it was on that huge dip. You know, we got into PayPal, you know, just good stuff. But what you have to realize, if you keep building that investment account, you know, you keep adding into it, you know, you don't withdraw, you just buy. And that's why I said this is a foundation. This is what your entire, if you're getting into trading, if you're getting into anything that involves, you know, finance and this stuff, you want to make sure your foundation is set on the rock, which is, you know, Jesus, but also making sure that you're investing into, you know, the S&P 500, and you know, you have a recurring thing going. Because what you can do after that, let's say you build up to 100K, you could actually take out loans against it, or you could do other things with it that are beneficial to you, and you don't really have to sell ever. But anyways, that's a topic for a different day. I know you guys just want to talk about, let's get into the lottos, man. Let's get into what's going 1,000% tomorrow. I know you guys aren't interested in talking about, waiting, being patient, delayed gratification. I know you guys aren't interested in that. But anyways, put in the comments some stocks you guys will look at. We'll look at a few more stocks. And yeah, we'll call it a night. Because like I said, man, I don't plan on holding you guys up for too long tonight. I want to look at a couple things. I don't want to look at Path. Although I think Path above $14, maybe it could be a possibly good equity buy just because AI agents are, you could build AI agents on it. But, I think Path has a lot to prove, okay? Let's look at some real stocks. Let's look at, I like Microsoft. Let's look at some real stuff, man. Like Neo. Oh my, let's look at Neo, man. Sure. Let's look at Neo. We'll look at Neo. Yeah. Nah, I'm all right, man. Like I'm okay. And the thing is, it's not even that, it's a bad stock, although like I really don't know. It's just that, I think there's so many better setups than Neo. I really do. I really, really do. And like the price action isn't even, look at this. Like this is not something that like, this was cool back in like 2021. I don't know if some of you guys remember, like this was definitely, a stock to look at in 2021, 2020. If you've been, in the game that long, but you expect SPY to dip. The market is never gonna dip. That was the last dip ever. What we just saw, that was the last dip ever. I'm just playing. It's never the last dip ever, okay? Of course we're gonna dip. Of course we're gonna go down some. Like, of course. The thing is, you want to be ready when there is a dip. You want to be watching the market. You want to make sure that you're able to get into some of these opportunities, okay? But yeah, I don't think that's the last dip. I expect it to maybe dip a little bit more. Maybe we'll see. IONQ. Like I said, for quantum stocks, I'm paying attention heavily to some of these quantum stocks because I think they're ready to make a large move to the upside. Okay, I really do. If you look at the weekly chart on IONQ, and like I said with the market in general, okay, I think a lot of we're gonna enter into a euphoric type of period, like we've been talking about for some time now. We've been spot on all these bull cases, all these dips, every single one. So I do not anticipate this to be any different. I think we're gonna do exactly what I'm talking about here, which is continue to march to the upside. Now, the reason I want to look at some of these quantum stocks is because this is where I believe some of the opportunity is gonna lie, right? Some of these lower caps, some of these, highly technological type of stocks that, speculation, there we go. But when we're looking at IONQ, this has a huge weekly hidden bull divergence from this low that actually made, this leg to this low, right? It's making a higher low. All right? So I think IONQ could potentially be bottoming out here. Now, you really wanted to get into it today, really yesterday, because now it has made a very large move, right? It went from 31 all the way to 36. Okay, so you're getting in kind of late, but I don't think you're too late. Okay, I think this can still move to the upside. We can look at some price targets for it now that it has gotten above, now that it's gotten above this right here with 36. I think it can start inching to 38, and maybe even 40, and so really, you wanted to get into it a bit early, but it did have some great earnings, like 480% surprise. What? 53% revenue beat. Like that's pretty good. And it's going up for earnings. And this was just $51 not too long ago, back in January. And we're entering into a very, very bullish, very, very euphoric type of period. I think this stock can move to the upside. Okay, I really do. And the risk to reward to the downside isn't even that bad. Okay, now of course I want to tell you to get calls tomorrow. I want to tell you exactly what to do tomorrow. But really, we can only there's a reason. I'm in this Discord just entering into stuff. Okay, because I can't come in I have to look at the price action tomorrow, right? So I'm only looking at the bigger picture type of things that are happening for stocks like this because I get Like we could go down $1 tomorrow, but be up $10 by next week. You understand? So I like it right here. The risk to reward is definitely, very, very good right here. Um, One of the things that I pay attention to is to make sure that it can trade back above $43. That puts it back in the bull range. But it looks like it's getting ready for that move. Okay, the risk to reward is right here at $30. You can just stop out if it gets below $30. Weekly hidden bull divergence, like I said, it looks incredible. I like it. I like it. I really do. I like it. SMCI, SERB, my boy Kirk in here. You what? KRKNF. What? KRKNF. Oh wow. $2 billion market cap stock. I don't know what they do, but this stock is moving, man. Aerospace, defense. It looks like, there's no reason to think that this is gonna go down. Look at the monthly, right? Looks good. I don't know too much about it, but I think for me, I'm a bit late. I'd like to get it, on the discount. But it looks good, bro. It looks good. Get equity is not bad. Yeah, this is probably one that I'd look at equity for, but I also want to know like what it is, But so yeah, it's there's bullish, but I don't really. There's no TA. This is a small cap. Nothing really to look at, in my opinion. BWGC. BWGC. This doesn't even have anything. This doesn't even have anything. Riot. Let's look at Riot, man. Let's look at some stocks that, are qualified. I don't want to look at stocks that came out yesterday. I don't want to look at, these random no offense. I just don't like. I want to look at some real deal professional type of stocks. All right, let's run the likes up. Let's run the likes up a little bit. But if you look at Riot has been holding very, very, very well. Okay, it has been holding very well. Okay, and I actually like Riot because what it's actually doing. Let me show you. What it's actually doing is it continues to retest the breakout that this 4-year, 5-year breakout. Okay, it continues to retest this 4 to 5 year breakout from January 2022. Okay, it is now broken out from that trend. This was the first breakout. This was like the impulse move, if you want to call it something. Okay, it has now retested it once, twice, thrice. Okay, it is ready to go. It is ready to go. Okay, all the Riot doubters are going to be in disbelief. Riot looks absolutely incredible. Now, is it the best stock out there? Like, is this the stock that I put everything on? No, but it is a stock that looks very, very, very good. And it is now broken above where it needs to break above to start getting to that next level. Okay, so I like Riot a whole lot. I think these are some of the levels that to pay attention to for it to start inching to the high of the year or high of 2022, 2023. So it needs above $19 next. If it can get above 19, it's going to 24. If it can get above 24, we're talking about it going to 44. We're talking about it, making some extreme moves, because what we can even, come over here and do is say that this is actually in a bull flag. It's actually been sitting here flagging, okay? And the beauty about this flag is that it's actually making higher lows, okay? Making higher lows. You can come over here and do something like this and see the measure move. And it says it's going to end up going to 32, okay? I like Riot. Very strong stock. It has been very strong. Earnings is in 5 days. It's been strong even with Bitcoin not being that strong. It is showing some relative strength. It is separating itself. It's even getting into like some data centers. It even has like a partnership with AMD. It even got some things going on with JP Morgan. I think it's good. Looks good. Airbnb, USAR. Let's get the live stream to 5K. Double tap the screen. We'll look at some more stuff. Okay, we'll look at some more stuff. We'll look at some more stuff. Check up on Upstart. Airbnb. Let's look at Airbnb. Let's look at. Oh my goodness, man! I knew I should have bought the dip on Airbnb. I knew it, man. I knew it. But the thing is, I still think this is early. I think Airbnb is early. I think Airbnb has the potential to start going. Okay, finally, after long consolidation. Now, obviously, we need this to start breaking above some levels, like to confirm the move, anyways, right? Like we need this needs to confirm. But the thing that I like about it the most is that what we see with these stocks that IPO in 2021 and then consolidate for 2 to 3 years is that we always see them start inching back to IPO price and even in the price discovery price. Okay, so in order for Airbnb to do that, it obviously needs to start getting back above where it's trying to break above right now, 132, and then it needs 141, and then it needs 145, and then after it could get above 145, then you have it getting to 160 plus, and then you really have some real big levels heading for Airbnb. So the main thing I want to pay attention to for this consolidation in this range is the macro picture for it, which is if let me show you guys something real quick. If the reason I want to focus on the macro for it is because it's in a big consolidation, and I think a very large move is gonna be made for it. And really, I don't want to it's kind of just sitting here. So if I was looking at Airbnb, I'd look for maybe some October calls for it because I think this is gonna make a very large move. But if you come over here, drop from the top to the bottom, you can see where the rejections were gonna occur, right? So you got the rejection from right here, but so if it can finally start breaking above that, it basically tells you it's ready to start retesting IPO, which is 2020, and 305 is in the cards for it. Okay. This reminds me of stocks like Robinhood, okay, where you had it IPO in 2021 like Airbnb, where you had all this consolidation, okay, and then what happened when you draw the top to the bottom that you see right here, which we go over a whole lot, is that you're able to see, okay, what prices it need to get above to start retesting IPO, and it tells you $55. Okay, so once it got above, it rejected right here, but once it finally got above $55, it retested IPO price. It even got to that 1.618 that you see up here, okay, and that's where it topped out. But I think it can, start getting a 200 plus here soon. But top for a different day. I like Airbnb a whole lot. But what if you weren't buying the dip, if you didn't get in yesterday, if you didn't get in on Monday, you're definitely late to the party, but it still looks good. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the live. Man. We're gonna get out of here. Okay, we're gonna get out of here. Link is in the bio for anything. All right, and you guys have a very blessed night. Could you do CoreWeave? It's earnings tomorrow. Go flip a coin, man. Here, hold on. Let's do CoreWeave earnings. Let's do CoreWeave's earnings. Flip coin simulation. All right, let's see, man. Heads, it goes up. Tails, it goes down. All right? Deal? Heads, it goes up. Tails, it goes down. You ready? Heads, it goes up. Tails, it goes down. That's what you got to do for CoreWeave, okay? That's what you got to do for really any earnings play. All right, buddy? All right, it's going down, bro. It's going down. All right? It's going down. All right, you guys have a good night. I'm out. Peace.